Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a really long time and I just sat down, talked about anything, everything. It's going to be a long video, I'm sure. Did this makeup look. My hair was already done, but I did zhuzh it at the end, so sorry, not going to give you a tutorial there. I can probably link below how I did it if you would like to see that. But if you want to join me, sit down with a snack, some coffee, a drink, whatever. We're going to talk about everything and nothing at the same time while I show you how I do this makeup look. So without further ado, because I could continue to ado, let's get into the video. All right, thanks future me. Starting off the base with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I just use a little bit of this in areas that I see the most texture, or I don't want to say like, is cavernous a word? But you see the most like dips and valleys in my face, which is like this area right here, my jowls, if you will. I kind of feel like if I were a if I were a dog or a basset hound, this would be like my jowls with the cheeks hanging over. And then a little bit on my chin and then a little bit in between my eyebrows on my forehead area. And I like to press this quite a bit into the skin. A little bit of a rubbing motion. Make sure to get into the crevice of my nose there. Well, how's everybody's holiday season going? This is what happens when you become a young adult, right? Is when you're young, when you're raised in a family like I had the privilege of being raised in, it just felt magical. We celebrate Christmas. I'm not really religious. I would say I'm agnostic, if anything, but it's more about tradition than it is about religion for us. But as a kid, everything felt so magical and exciting. And so every year now, as a young adult living on my own, without really I don't have kids or anything yet, I'm not married yet, I keep looking forward to getting that magical feeling of the holidays, not realizing that I have to be the one to invest the time into those things now, you know, whether it's going ice skating or seeing Christmas lights or having a bake-off with friends or Friendsgiving, etc. I have to go out of my way now to go do those things. And so I keep looking forward to all these things and all this magical feeling, and then being upset when time runs out, because of course I work a full-time job and then I balance life between not only my friend group but my own family and my partner's family, and so time just goes by so fast that it's just like I'm so exhausted at the end of the day and during the weekend that all I want to do is, you know, I have to clean the house or I have to wrap gifts, which I understand I'm in a very privileged position that I'm able to do those things. I suppose I should be doing my makeup, huh? For foundation, I'm using the Beauty Blender Bounce Liquid Whip Longwear Foundation. I don't believe it's sold in this container anymore. I need to check the formulas because they do have another foundation on their website with the same exact name, just in a different container, because I know a lot of people were complaining about how the product was or was not coming out of this. This is my second one of these. I really like these. I actually picked up the first one, I think, at a Marshall's, which I know like getting makeup at a Marshall's can be kind of sketch because it might not be from that company. It might be super expired. It might already be open, but I lucked out and I got the right shade for me, which is 1.60. And hopefully Beauty Blender does not strike me down, but I'm not using Beauty Blender. This, I believe, is a Beauty Bakery egg sponge, whatever they call them. The sponge is damp. I just put a squirt on the back of the sponge, and then we're gonna start with half my face. Like I said, I think this experience is pretty common for those, especially in like Western culture, where it's huge for us not to live with our families or extended families anymore. It's big, like once you get to college age, like 18, 19, 20, it's very commonplace for you to either move away during the school time or just live on your own. And I personally live quite a ways away from my family that I would visit. I don't talk to any of my extended family. It's only my immediate family that I choose to spend time with. And I live quite a ways away, which can make quite a difference with keeping traditions alive and family dynamics and all that thing, versus my partner, his family lives like 20 minutes from us. So it's super easy to be like, hey, like I'm doing today, I'm getting ready to go have lunch with his mom and sister. It's so much easier to have that connection and being like, oh, do you want to do this today? Or why don't you come over and bake cookies, or etc., versus making a long trek out to see my parents or to see my family, making sure you have everything, all the stressors of making sure you have a gift for everybody. And again, I recognize I come from a place of privilege in that I'm able to buy gifts and give people things. Now I'm going to go in with concealer under my eyes and on my trouble spots with the 16-hour camo concealer from e.l.f. in the color medium peach. So when it comes to holiday season, I feel like I'm let down every season now as I've gotten older, because things just feel so much less, I do want to use the word magical, because everything feels like a chore. I know some of that might just be my mental health at this time of year. Around this time of year, I do suffer, I think, with just general stress about the holidays, but then some SAD I live in the Midwest, and so on the shortest, I should look it up, but on the shortest day of the year, December 21st, the winter solstice, I believe, it gets bright around, like the sun comes up around between 7 and 8, maybe even later, but then starts to go down as soon as like 4 p.m. So that's really only about, let's see, math, 8-ish hours of sunlight. And during that period of time, I'm at work. So chances are I'm both driving to and from work when the sun is coming up and coming down respectively. So I might not see a lot of the sun. So I struggle with this feeling of being let down, if you will, on top of SAD, on top of all the other mental health struggles that I endure, which, hi, hello, my name is Carly. Welcome. I'm very open about talking about mental health because I believe it should be destigmatized. And one way that I like to make other people feel comfortable, this isn't like a poor me or a pick me girl moment. Please, like, if you're talking about your experiences, know that they are valid and that no one can take those away from you. My hope is that in me talking about them so openly, other people feel comfortable to either acknowledge these feelings within themselves, maybe find some reasoning behind the way they feel, find comfort in knowing that you're not alone, they're not alone, because I know for the longest time I felt like I was an island. And the holiday season can be very difficult, regardless of what holiday you celebrate or not. There's a lot of pressure in our social media and just media in general to like buy, go, go, go. Everything has to be Hallmark picture perfect. And so compounding all these things at the end of the year is exhausting. And like my therapist said, is for me, it was kind of like a perfect storm of all these stressors that happened. You know, I had some car issues, and then just my mental health and body dysmorphia during this time of year is already at a low, and then other things and stress. So I just, let me know something that brought you joy this holiday season. It could be anything. It could be something small, like you got this really delicious mocha from a coffee shop, or a peppermint mocha or something like that. Or you had a great time with your family, or your best friend got you a good gift, or you and your partner did something just for you two that you've never done before and hope to set new traditions. Let me know something that brought you joy this season. Because I feel like a lot of us on YouTube and people watching this video are at the same point in their life of this time of transition between you're not a child, but you don't quite feel like an adult yet, and a lot of politics and inflation and blah 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 can hinder that feeling of maturity. For blush, I'm using the Skin Spark blush balm in the color Fervor. This is a lot brighter of a color than I normally would wear, but I got this for Christmas from my mom and I absolutely love it. I love this company quite a bit. I have a lot of their products and plan to buy more. This is a very beautiful, I want to say like berry jammy-esque color that I normally would not use. Now that my base is done, I'm going to apply some to the high points of my cheeks. I'm going to blend that out with the Real Techniques sculpting brush, something that's really dense so it doesn't disturb a lot of the product underneath. And I'm just going to warm this up with my ring finger here, and it does really turn into like a tacky balm. And then it's going to be scary at first because it's going to be like, oh, that's a lot of pigment. And then you blend it out. I still have quite a bit on my finger there that maybe I'll use to blonde tour, so a little bit on my nose or on the other side of my face. And I'm just going to go in and kind of tap that out. Nice thing about these blushes is they are extremely pigmented. But they do sheer out, and once I put like my setting powder on top, it really kind of tones it down. And if I need to, I can go over it with my not beauty blender, with additional leftover foundation to kind of blend it more seamlessly into my face. I do like the look of a lot of blush, but I'm also trying not to do, which I look crazy now, so, you know, whatever. I'm trying not to look like the 80s full-on draping kind of look. So with whatever's left on my finger, I'm just gonna tap that on the other side here. One thing that I really enjoyed this year is last year and the year before, I kept telling my partner, like, we should go ice skating, we should go ice skating, we should go ice skating. I live in the land of hockey. I was not born here, so I did not grow up on skates. I did not grow up on rollerblades. So skating does not come supernaturally to me. Plus, I don't own any skates. So that kind of barred me from finding places. Luckily, because I live in the land of hockey, there's a lot of ice rinks out there that allow you to rent skates. And so one day, my partner, while I was at work, looked up ice rinks near us, and we went that weekend to an ice rink that let us rent skates, and that was super nice. I would like to do more of that, whether it's the holiday season or not. It was a good workout. I felt stiff and sore for like the next 5 days. All right, so it does, I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, I believe. It does look a little wild, but it's a beautiful jammy berry color. My mom picked this color out, and it looks like a color that she would more likely wear, but it's beautiful. like I said. So I am going to clean that up with whatever product is left on my beauty blender because it is quite a lot. And if I need to as well, I can add a little bit more foundation. So I might cut a little bit more down there, or I could use concealer, but I like not to layer too much concealer on things. So this might have gotten a little wild, but that's kind of a look, right? I can always go over it with more powder. I feel like everything's so dark right now because I'm wearing black top, dark navy on underneath. My background is dark. I need to figure out my lighting. It's whatever. So to set my face, I do like to use a powder. I'm going to be using the Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder underneath my eyes. And then I believe it's just the e.l.f. HD powder and sheer to set everything else. This under eye powder I really like. I've rebought it multiple times. I mean, I guess if you rebuy something, you're buying it more than once. But as far as like setting powder for face, I don't really care. There are some ones that have like glitter in them. The one I had from e.l.f. before had like micro glitter in it, and I believe the Rare Beauty one does as well. Which if you like that look of kind of maybe potentially looking like a Twilight vampire in the sun, go for it. Not really my steez. So I'm just applying that to underneath my eye, and then I'm gonna tap some powder to set my face. So it's been years since I have been online at all as far as YouTube and my Instagram channel, but my form of entertainment is YouTube videos. So I've never stopped watching YouTube videos, and I watch a huge gambit of YouTube content. Could be YouTubers, Let's Players, Emmy Made in Japan, so some recipe videos, cold ones, like there's a huge range that I watch. But I keep wishing that I had persisted in posting on YouTube or continuing to make videos because I had a lot of fun. I will let you know there are 2 videos that I filmed and edited before this one that I don't know if I'm going to post because I had hopes for them that I don't think are going to come to fruition just the way that things are set up. I set the bar and expectations too high for myself. I found out this year, surprise, I'm a perfectionist, so that explains a lot of things in my life. But I set the bar really high for those videos. So my day-to-day job, I work as a sign language interpreter. And my hope was to interpret these videos myself. And you would see me like in a little box in one of the corners, interpreting what I'm saying. Well, the way that I had edited things, there was no thought towards how hard it would be to interpret. Because as you can see, when I'm nervous, I talk really fast. And I had cut the video in a way that it was just like bing, bang, boom. There's like no space between me talking. And when you have to, in sign language, going back to my face, I'm using the NYX Ritualistic highlighter. Oh, it's called Illuminator. This is disgustingly old. I am a decrepit, disgusting individual, but it's this really pretty gold illuminator. Taking some on my finger oh shit. Actually, wait, I need to add some color to my nose so it stands out. I'm just using the Item Swipe and Glow Contour Powder in the shade Vibes. Item Beauty. I don't know, I got this in an ipsy years ago. It's just this pretty packaging. I kind of like that color of like coral orange, but it's just like a cool tone bronzer contour powder like I just said. I'm gonna take that and contour my nose and then do a little bit around my lips as well. So when I sat down to interpret my video, one of my videos, the 2 that I edited, I was floundering. There was so much going on so fast, and like I've gone to interpreting school for 4 years to get my degree, and then I've been working in the schools. So I'm an educational interpreter. I've been working in schools for 4 years now, so that would be, technically like maybe 8-ish years of not professional interpreting, but just learning how to interpret and then applying those skills. Interpreting for yourself is weird because you're like, okay, I think I know my patterns and ways of speaking and whatever, and then you're just like, what the fuck is happening? And for those of you that don't know anything about sign language, if there is a proper noun, such as the name of a product, not just like, oh, this is a blush, you would say like, this is a CoverGirl blush in the shade, I don't know, Baby Cheeks. It's called finger spelling. You would spell out the full name of that so it comes across because there's not signs for those specific words. You could make a sign later on, such as like, if I said CoverGirl, so COVERGIRL, I could make a sign, coming together, CG, right? But I would have to first set up that, oh, CoverGirl, CG, my sign for that. And then moving forward, you could do CG, but things are moving so fast, and with colors, I wouldn't want to make a sign for every color, and so it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of setting up prior to interpreting that I'm anxious just sitting and talking to you guys. I was extremely anxious trying to interpret everything. And so I was just like, not keeping my cool, my composure, my affect was gone. It was not good. So I figured this would happen. I interpreted one of my videos and then just felt disheartened because I'm a perfectionist, because I wasn't proud of the quality, and I don't think I'm gonna pursue interpreting the other one. Moving forward, maybe I'll figure out, like, once I get into the groove of things, how I like to speak or edit things in a way that would be more conducive to being interpreted. Now I'm just going in finally with that highlighter on my nose and Cupid's bow and then on my face. I think this shade really complements the blush really well, in that the blush is a little bit cool toned, but it has a lot of berry punch to it. So this golden hue of ritualistic, I think, meshes well with it. I haven't contoured my nose in a while. I kind of look like a Cindy Lou Who nose. I don't normally do eyebrows, to be honest. These are my natural eyebrows, no tattooing, no tints, no lamination. And I feel like every time that I do my eyebrows, I don't like how they look, but we're gonna give it a shot using the Milani Weekend Brow in the shade medium brown. This is a marker, a pen, if you will. And it's still weird for me to use one of these because it feels so stark when I use it. There was a certain level of professionalism that I felt was missing with the video and my interpreting of said video. I'm gonna brush through this so it's not as stark. And I'm the kind of person where it's just like, oh, this isn't going well, I'm just gonna quit. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do anything else. I'm trying to break that. I'm trying to be better. And of course, I can't keep getting mad at myself for not having more YouTube videos, having more routine of doing this kind of stuff, because I haven't been putting in the effort. It's one of those things where it's just like, I was just watching Vlogmas with the Braun family, so Jessica and Tyler Braun. Lovely family. Her style and my style could not be further from each other. We're just like exact opposites, like not exact, but she's very girly and pink and colorful and Disney, and I'm like, give me all the dark, give me all the red, black, gothic kind of stuff. But there's just something about her video and her channel and her family that just keeps me completely enraptured with whatever they're doing. She seems like such a wonderful human being. It would be amazing if I met her. She seems like so sweet, and she worked in education, so I wonder if there are things that she and I could like talk about together. But I believe it was either their day 28 or 27, I think, of this year for Vlogmas, that Tyler was talking about how he taught himself how to play piano because when he was young, he took 1 or 2 lessons from somebody but didn't really jive well with the guy and was just like, nah, I'll do it by myself, which kudos to you, holy shit, that's amazing. But he said something along the lines of quoting a celebrity, and he didn't quite remember who exactly said it, and so I'm not going to say who exactly said it because I don't know. But he was saying, for example, his example was Jimi Hendrix. A fan came up to Jimi Hendrix and said like, oh my god, I wish I could play guitar like you. And it wasn't Jimi Hendrix, this was just him saying this. I'll see if I can like link the video that I'm referencing below. But so the fan said like, I wish I could play guitar like you, and then Jimi Hendrix, not Jimi Hendrix, said, no you don't wish you could, because if you really wanted to, you would go out of your way to teach yourself. Which I know there's a lot of privilege behind that, or a lot of class stuff and resource things that can impact that. I'm gonna brush through these so they're not Sharpie brow, and then maybe go over them a hair with my beauty blender again, my beauty sponge, sorry, whatever's left. More of an ombre natural look. But in essence, it was just like saying, if you really wanted it, you would take steps towards it. And I've really been wanting to come back to YouTube and just like, maybe not even for fame or etc. I just want to have like the way that Jessica Braun, like, you know, people say they have comfort YouTubers. I'm gonna spray my face, set my face with the Cherry Matte Setting Spray by Pacifica. And a comfort YouTuber makes you feel a certain way, and I would love to be that for somebody else. And again, like I said, I'm huge on destigmatizing mental health disorders and just mental health being more of a topic openly discussed in general. I'm gonna wipe that spray from my eyelids, and then I'm going to prime my lids with the NYX Ultimate Shadow and Liner Primer. They have multiple shades, but I don't know what this one is because it rubbed off. I can't be mad at myself and upset that I don't have a presence, and I'm not a comfort YouTuber for someone, and I don't, like, I want videos also just to look back on where I was at that time, or to cherish memories. You know, a lot of people have home VHS videos or camcorder videos, and it's fun to see that. Like, my family never did that really. I was maybe the one that recorded a lot of things and tried a lot of things. But I want to have things to look back on and to cherish and to like immortalize. And this is a fun way to do it, is YouTube. It's like an online diary for some people. I'm gonna set that primer again with the Essence Brighten Up Under Eye Powder, just lightly. And I have to start somewhere. I've already tried 2 videos that I didn't really appreciate, didn't really like, didn't work out the way that I wanted. But instead of me being like, oh, this is futile, it's never gonna work out ever, I have to keep trying, I think. I'm just putting on some lip balm because my lips are crusty. To open up my eyes and make them look bigger, I'm gonna use look how tiny this little thing is. Bruh. This is another Essence product. I can't remember exactly what this product is called. I believe it's just like their long-lasting eyeliner pencil in the shade Silky Nude. Again, another product that I've bought multiple times. I'm contradicting Yoda in saying you need to try somewhere. And maybe I'm not contradicting him because maybe it's hand in hand. It's do or do not. There is no try. I'm currently doing. I'm recording, again, a third time after I felt like my other videos did not pan out well. As crushed as I was because I had this, huge grandiose idea of what I wanted it to look like, what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be deaf accessible, which hopefully there's another way I can figure out how to do that, whether it be captions or figuring out my editing so I can actually actively interpret what I'm saying versus the that's going on right now. Wow, these brows. I am gonna tone them down a bit here. See, this is why I don't really like filling in my brows. My brows are just very thick as they are, and they're a lot darker than my head hair. So it's like when I put these on, they look like Sharpie brows. Put these on. Like Groucho Marx. I feel like I do look like Groucho Marx. Taking another Phytosurgeons product. This is one of their eyeshadows. They call them Flash Fluorescence in the shade Magnetic Maple. I believe they describe this as a minky taupe. These are very dry to the touch, but oh my god, they are so beautiful once you get them on your eye. Like, look at that reflectiveness. Holy cow. They have 2 other shades in this product as well. I really like their products. I'm going to use a dense kind of square shader brush to apply this to the majority of my lid. I think this might be like a 1 or 2, maybe 3 technically, eyeshadow look, but this is just going to go on my lid and then I'll blend it out a little bit into the crease and then maybe add a little bit more for pop on the lid. I always seem to want to pick this back up at the worst time. This being making videos for YouTube. 1, because everyone's into short form content, not long form, so TikToks. People's attention span, as short as it is nowadays with immediate gratification with technology, which, I mean, technology is amazing, I'm not knocking it, but I would argue that there's going to be studies coming out in maybe 20, 30 plus years showcasing how technology may have lessened our attention span. I am a very verbose person. I can talk for days. I always feel like I have something to say, and I ramble. I consider the way that I talk, the way I explain it to my therapist, is my thoughts are stars in the sky, my talking points. And they're all connected. It's like a constellation of thought, but when you just look up at the sky, it's just this smattering of stars. And in my head, they're all connected, so I can see the constellation, right? Like I get from here to here to here to here to here. But most people don't see this process. You can't even see that. See this process. I mean, you didn't see the process because it was all the way off screen. People see from point A to point Z, but there's the whole alphabet in between. And it might not be one of those things that I feel like I necessarily always have something important to say, because not everything I do has to have meaning, right? Not everything I do has to be impressive. And these are lessons that I'm trying to teach myself through therapy, through living life, through changing processes in my brain and all that stuff. Because like I said, I am a perfectionist. It's either do it perfectly the first time or fail and never try again. I'm trying to find that middle ground of trying enough that I'm not losing sleep over how I feel maybe that it's not as professional or as perfect as I want whatever it is to be, while also just making an effort and being okay in it not being perfect. Now I'm just taking a dense kind of rounded brush and taking that same shadow and putting it underneath my eye. And so that being said, I kind of want to start making videos again of whatever the case may be, mostly makeup probably, because I love to sit down and talk, clearly. But also kind of as proof for myself that even if something isn't perfect, you created something. Something that didn't do any harm against anybody. Something that I can look back upon and be like, oh yeah, I did try that. That was cool. Instead of being like, well, I didn't even try because I was too afraid of failure. And then forever lamenting the fact that I didn't even get off the ground. I'm gonna go back in with that fluffy brush and then just kind of continue to blend this product into my crease. I might go in with a fluffy brush, we'll see, but there's still some product left on this brush, so I just wanted to deposit lightly in multiple areas. And then for wow factor, I'm going to go in with my finger and really rub my finger on here. Look at this. And I'm going to put that on my eye, in the center of my lid. And it's okay to be selfish. Like, I'm considering this journey of mine selfish and making a video and talking and putting myself out there and creating a platform of me, but it's okay to be selfish. I think within parameters, obviously, of course, I don't want to like harm anyone in the process of whatever I'm doing. And I want to forever be apologetic if I am wrong in any way. And it's life, I'm always learning, forever learning. So I'm going to be wrong in some places, or there's going to be a place of growth for me that looking back, maybe in like 5 years, I'm going to be like, wow, that's what I said. That's what I thought. Humans are forever changing, growing, aging. Hopefully people are always learning and accepting that they're not always right. And so I'm making these videos to prove to myself that I can. So here's fervor on the cheeks. You can see once I added my powder, like I said, it kind of sucked into my face. But you can still see quite a bit of it. And then on my eyes, that's where you can see Magnetic Maple. For my inner corner highlight, I'm going to be using the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow. Always have to think about that before I say it. Shade in Couche, which I don't believe you can get on the ColourPop website, but you can get on Ulta. And I bought another one because it's one of my favorites, and I'm scared that ColourPop's going to get rid of it because they're a fast fashion makeup brand. I'm just going to say it. They pump stuff out and then get rid of stuff without telling people. Please don't get rid of this one. I love this one. I'm going to put that in my inner corner here. The nice thing about social media is that there's a space for everyone. It might seem like it's very, I don't know the right word for that. It's very not elitist, but in a way exclusionary in that, well, there's already these people that are so well established, why should I even try? But it's like, that's the whole point of social media, is everyone can voice their opinion, everyone can be heard, be said, and there's gonna be at least one person that connects with it, right? Blending out that shade. For eyeliner, I think I'm gonna do a nice like mauve-y, magenta-y, purpley shadow for eyeliner, kind of to tie in with the blush. I believe I'm gonna use a color from the Flight Club palette from Menagerie Cosmetics. Either Flying Fox or Sky Puppy, I believe I'm going to use. I believe I'm gonna be using like this shade probably. Looks the closest. Maybe some of that shade, but this shade to my blush. I'm gonna take a very teeny tiny, I have a couple actual like pencil brushes I'm gonna try using to get a defined wing. So an angled brush and then two like technically liner brushes. I'm gonna go in with Flying Fox. Words are hard. This is gonna take a lot of my concentration, I'm sorry. Let's zoom you in a little bit maybe so you can see what I'm doing on my eyeballs. But there's a space for everybody. And I grew up in an age where technology was just starting to boom. I've seen the creation, like when I first started YouTube 5-6 years ago, there was no TikTok. There was Vine, I believe, or Vine was just going out of the way. But YouTube has been a constant in my life. Whether it's watching funny videos, I started watching YouTube when they had the 10-minute limit on videos. Now, probably this video is gonna be close to 30 minutes once I condense it down, maybe even more. And the truth of the matter is everyone starts from nothing, potentially, you know, unless you're like already an existing celebrity or somebody's kid. But like the people that I love, that I've watched for years, started as nothing, with nothing. And I am privileged in the fact that I do have a DSLR. I just got a phone that has really good cameras. I have a microphone. I have a desktop computer that my partner actually beefed up for me so I can actually edit videos well. Because none of you know me, so I don't know why I'm gonna say like, if you don't know me, none of you do, unless we're friends in real life, which you know me a little bit. I'm stubborn. I don't want to upgrade. I had the same phone, an iPhone 7, up until like 2 months ago or like even just a month ago when I got my new phone. I had that for like 3 or 4 years because I was just like, it still works and it's fine and it's not as updated or as cool or as big as everybody else's phone. The camera quality sucks. You know, I'm running out of space, but I can make calls, I can text, I can do social media on it. Watch YouTube. That's all I want. Excuse me. And so, same thing with my computer. It wasn't working to its best ability. It was very slow, it would crash, it couldn't handle all the processing or editing that I would want to do for videos. And so my partner, love him to death, ended up upgrading it for me, buying parts. I am very blessed to have the partner that I do. I absolutely adore him. He is just the most wonderful individual. Maybe one day he'll come on camera, but it's not something I'm going to push on him. It's my choice, not his. Okay, so liner's on. I didn't do a ton, just a wing. I don't like to bring my liner in super far because I feel that closes off my eye. Now I'm just going to apply mascara. I'm using the waterproof CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara. It's a very wet formula, and I do experience not flaking, but my lower lashes will smudge onto my under eye during the day, but that's easy enough to blend away with, you know, my concealer brush or powder or etc. I wipe off most of the product on here so it's not as gloopy because it's wet, it does make a mess. I do my lower lashes first so I don't blink and then get it on my upper lashes or upper eyelid. I have never understood how people do not get mascara on their lower lash line. Like whenever I see pictures of people having perfectly manicured lashes, if you will, I just blinked too hard and it got all those dots right there. We'll fix it. We'll fix it in post. God damn it. Stop talking. But I've never understood how people don't get it smudged everywhere on their eyeballs. Okay, I'm gonna let those dots dry and then scratch them off. Now I'm gonna curl my lashes. Well, at least this is a perfect way to showcase how I can try to fix my mascara F up, because I feel like this happens to everybody at least once that wears mascara. I like to tilt a mirror underneath me and then look down when I do these lashes again, just so I don't get a lot of it smudged on my upper eyelid. As you can tell, I'm very messy with mascara and I'm very diligent with it. Mascara, arguably, besides like blending eyeshadow, picking eyeshadow, getting that all figured out, mascara is probably the thing that I spend the most amount of time on a single product. I'm picky. Sorry, this is like a horror film shot. But let's recap. I talked about like a million different topics in one video, just kind of talking lightning speed because again, I'm nervous and I feel like I have a lot to say and a lot to accomplish. I start these videos always with something in mind and sometimes in my head somewhat of a script to follow with the knowledge that I will probably derail at some point. Let's see, I talked about mental health. I talked about the holiday season and being a young adult in the holiday season. I talked about do or do not, there is no try, makeup, social media. Geez, this video could stand alone for being like 7 different videos. And none of you know me, and I'm sure nobody sat through all of this, but if you did, hi, hello. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. I hope to make videos like this more often, or like I said, not even for an audience. It'd be great if this became a career or I could make some money off of it, but really my goal is just to prove to myself that I can, and to have like almost like a photo album to look back on, but it's a YouTube album. I'm gonna attempt to scratch off some of that mascara that I got under my eyes, which using a spoolie under your eye is probably not the best idea, but you know what? You're not my real dad. And then I'm just gonna go in with my concealer brush without any extra product on it and try to buff a lot of that away. Okay, and I'm gonna go in with a second coat of mascara, so bear with me here. Something about the way I contoured my nose and then contoured my Cupid's bow does make me look like a Who from Whoville from the, what is it, 2000s Grinch movie with Jim Carrey and Taylor Momsen, I believe her name is. God, that's another topic. The music that I listen to, holy, like if I ever became, there's a million things I want to do. I have my hands in a lot of pots. Is that how that phrase goes? But if I ever did music, I believe I would have a voice similar to her from The Pretty Reckless. Who, it's so funny to see the juxtaposition of who she played. She played Cindy Lou Who in the Grinch movies and then grew up to be this like black eyeliner, rock and roll babe with an amazing husky voice, and I just like absolutely love it. But I do look, because I don't really have much of a top lip and the way I contoured my nose made me have a button nose, it does make me look like I'm wearing the prosthetics that they do in that movie. Okay, so there's that on that. Eyes are done. Wow, if I don't look like a mom from the early 90s, I don't know what I look like. Alright, for lipstick, I'm using another ColourPop product. As much as I like to shame them for how fast they are with makeup, they do make really good products. I bought from them when they were just Super Shock Shadows years ago again. This is the ColourPop Lip Lacquer? ColourPop Lip Lacquer, Fresh Kiss. I don't remember, I don't know. I think you can get the lip lacquer on their website. This is in the shade Spritz Me. I believe it was in probably like a collection that they had that they no longer sell. I don't think you can get this color, but it's a pretty standard berry mauve, which I tend to get lipsticks this shade all the time. Like, not even intentionally. This is just the color that I seek out and have a ton of, which if I can get a still from one of the videos that I recorded and didn't end up uploading, you can see how close that lipstick is to how this one's gonna look. I feel like I just did the Italian thing. Not gonna lip line, I'm lazy. This formula is really comfortable though and has a lot of color payoff and honestly lasts pretty well. Whenever I put lipstick on, I tend to like, I want to say like squeegee the sides of my lips and then do that trick to get off as much as possible so I don't get any on my teeth. But here's the look. I think the shadow I used for liner matches really well. I'm just gonna keep winging that out, blend it out a little bit more. Matches really well with the lipstick, which again, this is a very comfortable formula. I wore this past weekend. The blush is gorgeous. Love the blush. All right, here's the finished look. I zhuzhed my hair, I changed out my earrings. I've done this look before. I really like it. I like the colors that mesh together. It looks very 90s again, kind of with the cool eyeshadow and the lipstick, and then the turtleneck and long tank dress don't help. Thank you guys for joining me today. I ended my previous 2 videos with the same quote, and I would like to continue using it because I need to use it for myself as well. But I hope you are able to treat yourself with the same kindness that you so easily extend to others. Thanks for joining me, guys. See you next time. Bye. I need to get my ass in gear here. I feel like I'm posing for a pageant. Here. No, Mount Rose, Minnesota beauty pageant winner is Amber Atkins. Okay, I can move that. I totally could. If I weren't such a dingleberry. I'm using for foundation the Bounce. That's the name of it. I have to cross-reference the exact name, just in a different container. Oh god, excuse me. I don't remember what I was talking about. Maybe find... And so I'm going to tap a little bit on the... Hello. Where are you, Christmas? Should I do eyebrows now? Hold on. Pause, please. So I'm just going to start... Oh, fuck. Taking another phytosurgeon's project. God, my eyebrows. I think I am gonna go in the sky, flying. The one thing that people don't tell you about having a septum piercing is that you will get snot stuck on it. Not even like just boogers, like just wet snot. Where are you, Christmas? Cottonmouth, Jesus. Cool. Okay, great. I gotta go. I gotta pee. I gotta go. Bye.